Hello, hi, and howdy. Welcome on in. I'm Rocklivin GNS, and welcome back to episode 3 of Vintage Story. Today is another rainy day. Yay. But I need to go out and I need to start collecting clay. In order to do the smelting stuff and actually getting my first tools and being able to do some actual decoration stuff too, like I need clay in order to make stairs. Now what's funny is in the recipe hasn't been updated in one point, at least in this version. It only shows blue and fire clay for being able to make stairs for the type of rock that I've got near me, but it turns out that red clay does work, even though it's not listed as a working component. So I think that's just one of the details I need to catch up. And honestly, I like the way the house looks, even as simple as it is in the daylight. Kind of nice having a place that I can wake up to and not be completely soaked. But naturally, as I'm out and about, I'm going to get soaked anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter too terribly much. Luckily, being wet doesn't affect your health as much as it does during the winter, when it's nice and cold. So the first thing I need to do is actually find some red clay. Now, I do know where the one spot is, near where I spawn. And so at least I get to, I'll take a trek out that way and be able to collect it there. I think I'm going to actually collect quite a bit, reduce the amount of trips I need to make. And I look forward to coming back to these ruins and actually exploring them a bit, especially for that bony soil. But this is, I like the size of this, and I'm half tempted at some point to come back here and unbury the whole thing, turn it into a small town type of thing. I mean, that's what it looks like. It's like a really small village as far as the structures go. And I'm going to collect all the surface quartz I can in hope of getting more clear quartz. Because until I get bronze, I'm not going to be able to dig it out anyway. Or furs. Nope, I don't need that. Can't eat it. Not sure. Some of these bushes and everything, I'm not sure what's actually considered wood, what's considered flower and what's not. But would you look at this red clay? And it's a lot closer to the house than right next to where it says add waypoint. There's another marker. There's red clay there too. So I like the fact it's right here. Which means that now it's time to actually fill my bags, or well, hand baskets, and inventory with some red clay. And with my hand baskets and inventory full, it's time to head back home. When I get home, of course, it's later in the day. And the first thing I do when I get back, though, is set up some stairs. A nice detail touch that I've been looking forward to add to the house and the basement. So it's a pretty simple recipe, as you can see. Nothing too much goes into it. So I'll get it set up for the basement. I've got upstairs done. And then I am just going to get right into the clay molding. And I have to say that I actually find the process of clay molding enjoyable and fairly relaxing, despite how long it actually takes. And I went through and made all the things. Well, most of all the things. There's still a couple more things I actually want to make now that I've gotten farther in. But make all the things, and it's so nice having that duplicate function. But I really do enjoy the clay making. You can't really screw it up. Unlike working metal, you can screw that up. Clay, you pretty much can't. So I go through and I just make all the things I think I'll need initially, especially the what's it called? My vessels. The vessels is definitely come in handy. And if you're wondering what that cracking sound is, well, it turns out that making time lapses when it's thundering outside makes for interesting sound effects. So here we got the anvil going, which that's something I look forward to making, because that's going to take a lot of copper to actually make. In fact, I think the anvil is typically the most you have to do with it. I'm just out here checking to make sure that the lightning's not doing anything. I have lightning set to be able to create fire if it catches something. And that leads me right into day 6. So day 5 just wasn't a lot of going on. But it took a long time to get everything done. So day 5, after wasting only a little bit of time, I get right back into creating more things to go into clay pits. Now, one thing I did notice, and I'm half debating turning the music off, because it turns out when you time lapse with music, it just sounds funny. And very randomly, I also decided that I needed to make improvised armor. I don't know what triggered the thought. I just happened to realize that it was something I had wanted to make, and I can make. So I make a set of improvised armor. I put it on. I look snazzy, ready to face the day. The whole clay crafting is daunting work and requires the utmost in protection. So yeah, I get the molds I want to make for tool molds, which I know all of them will come in handy, come in useful. It'd be nice to actually be able to utilize the copper tools and start moving away from stone tools, except for in a pinch. And then finally get to making my vessels. Oh, I look forward to having all that extra space and the best food preservation in the game, even without a cellar. So I make a couple more of these, and I also like the red versus the blue when actually creating these things, even though they turn out the same color. In the end, I think it looks pretty nice. And when you're starting off, you just can't have enough vessels until you can start making your double chests. That's my opinion, at least. But I really did enjoy, even though it took a long time, I did enjoy making all the pottery things. And like I said, music in time lapses is tends to be a little bit comical. But after much clearing and cutting grass and making firewood and collecting sticks, I was finally able to create fire. And you see, I got quite a few pits going on, and it'll be nice to have everything kind of all at once. Be able to go right to it, have no issue. You know, I've got bowls, I've got cooking pots, I've got crucibles, I've got templates for tools, I've got vessels. I have basically all the starter needs. Even a hammer in here. And I really look forward to being able to turn them into something. My only concern right now is not setting myself on fire as I'm playing with fire. That always tends to hurt. Part of the reason why I made these separated the way I did, so I could kind of squeeze between things and not touch the fire. One thing that was nice, I figured out that I could actually light all 4 sections from one spot instead of having to move around. That really helped out. And as the fire is all set up, I can finally start my next project, which will be making a 7x7x7 charcoal pit. And of course, at this time, I'm not realizing how big that's going to be. But how big it's going to be is something you can find out in the next episode, because I'm ending it here. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a good morning, good day, good evening, whatever the case may be for you. I hope it's a good one, and I hope you liked the video. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing. Thank you all. Take care, and bye-bye.